real cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Shalon Barnett says the defendant is her cousin, and although she was born a man, she now lives as a woman. Shalon claims once the defendant started her new life, she started using drugs and prostituting, but she cleaned up her act and moved in with Shalon. However, she's suing for rent, stolen property, and the balance due on a car. Defendant Brianna Hill says Shalon was always there for her and supported her when she started living her life as a woman. However, everything changed once Brianna moved in with Shalon because Shalon got an attitude and tried to pick fights with her. Therefore, she refuses to pay.
Start with you.
Well, Brianna is my cousin who I deeply and truly love. I really love her. Like, I would do anything for her. I wouldn't want to see nothing bad happen to her. And she basically, Brianna is a man named Charles. And
What do you mean, she's transgender?
yes, a transgender.
Okay.
She's comfortable with, as far as everything. But the whole purpose of me saying that is because of the simple fact that Charles when he was a child, he was like just very bad, gave his mom all type of different problems and everything or whatever.
Like what?
As far as like having like trouble in school and everything, and couldn't nobody ever understand like why he act like that, And I kind of knew that Charles would turn into a Brianna. I already been seeing that and everything, and he was always unhappy as a man. And once he became a Brianna, he was happy, and I was happy for her and everything. The family, we all accepted it and everything, And so she basically had a rough life when she her transgender. She had a rough life. And
when was that? When year?
I turned into a transgender in 2010.
And that's when you say it was rough starting then? Or?
It was rough starting.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and I'm really not trying to put her business all out there like that, but she was prostituting and everything, and she was hanging with the wrong. She was hanging with the wrong crowd and stuff.
Okay, let's leave it there. Hanging with the wrong crowd. She said she wasn't prostituting, so hanging with the wrong crowd. What else?
She was prostituting and hanging with the wrong crowd.
She said she wasn't. Were you out there with her? Were you out there with her?
No,
well, you know
I know
what
for a
she
fact
was
because that's my
doing.
cousin. We talk about everything.
I know, but she's denying it now.
All right.
All right, well,
Okay.
let her deny it. Let her stick to her story.
Okay.
Because you say she told you, she say she didn't, so the only other way you could know is if you're out there with her.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay. And so she was doing drugs and everything, and with the wrong people. So she called me for help because she wanted to get out of her lifestyle.
Okay.
And I said, well, if you really want to get out that lifestyle, then you have to want to get out that lifestyle. Like you want help, you have to want to help yourself. So I was willing to do that. So we came up with like a game plan or whatever as far as like, what we can do to start getting her on the right track. And we agreed that she can go ahead and go to school, sign up for school, which she did,
Good.
get a job and everything, which I helped her get a job and everything. And she was homeless. So I gave her a place to stay.
You are a good cousin.
Yes. And so
There's a line on it about the prostitution. Go ahead. You lie on it every now and then, but other than that, you're a good cousin. Go ahead.
Okay. And so we agreed that if she stayed with me, which was in October, we agreed that if she stayed with me from November of 2011 to November 2012, that she would basically pay me $350 for rent.
All right, let me allow her to tell me some background, then we'll get to the specifics. Go ahead.
Well, Your Honor, me and Shalon, we were like favorite cousins. We used to go out to the movies and talk about her personal problems, my personal problems, about the problems in the family. And we was like best friends. She was the #1 person there for me when I came out as transgender to the family. But it seemed like all that went downhill when I moved in with her. Like, she used to come home with attitude problems and take her anger out on me, call me names, call me dirty, nasty, a prostitute, like she said, and just be outrageous with it. And then
Why do you think she was doing that?
Because she probably was miserable and upset. I don't know. But anyway.
You never asked her, why are you going off on me all the time? What's the deal on you? You never asked? Y'all were so close. Y'all talked about all the other
I didn't have
problems.
time to ask
We
her that.
talked about everything. We were so close, and she come home, and you just suggested that she was going off on you because she may have had some other problems. A good cousin would say, hey, what's going on? You never treated me like this before. Is something going on in your life? Is something at the job going on with you? Is some no good man giving you a hard time and giving you all this stress and you taking it out on me? You didn't ask her anything?
Well, she didn't never let me ask her that, but
You tried?
I tried multiple times.
And what would she do?
She gave attitude. It
What?
was
Tell
just
me, give me one
attitude.
example.
Like one time she came in the house and we were arguing so bad. Like
No, not when you start arguing. I want to know when she was coming at you, when she was going in at you. Did you ever just sit back, let her finish, and say, now what's wrong with you? Sounds like all you did is cuss back at her.
Basically.
At least you're honest. All right, go ahead.
So it was like.
So she was going off
she
on
was
you a
going
lot.
off.
Did you ever find out what it was?
No.
All right. You want to tell me about that before we get to the rent and the other property you're suing her about? Were you coming in?
No, sir. I know I was not.
She's making that up.
Yes. I didn't have no reason to go in at her. She was prostituting and everything, and she was
That's
hanging with
not
the wrong.
true.
She was hanging with the wrong crowd and
Okay,
stuff.
let's leave it there.
people.
Hanging with the wrong crowd. She said she wasn't prostituting, so hanging with the wrong crowd. What else?
She was prostituting and hanging with the wrong
She
crowd.
said she wasn't. Were you out there with her? Were you out there with her?
Defendant Brianna Hill is being sued by her cousin, who claims once Brianna started living as a woman, she became a prostitute.
Go ahead. Tell me about the rent.
Okay, our rental agreement was that she paid me $350
A month, from
A month.
November 11 to November 12.
Yes.
And what happened?
and everything was going all fine. Like I said, she was working and, she was in school and everything. So all the way up until March, that was the last time she made a payment. She stayed with me the month of April, May, and June, and she didn't pay me anything. And I would ask her, like, yeah, when are you gonna make a payment, And then she like, I get to it, da, 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 da. And I was like, okay, well, and that'll be it. Like, as far as me going off and anything, no, I was just asking
Okay,
her.
so it's the 3 months for rent.
Yes.
At $350 each, and then what stolen property are you suing her for?
Well, my laptop was one of the stolen properties.
Tell me what happened.
Well, when the month of June, I believe it was June 15th or whatever, she had took the car that we had agreed upon or whatever, and she took the laptop and everything, and a few other of my my property or whatever.
And how much are you suing for in the car? I see you're suing for a balance due on a car. That's how much?
Which is 19.
All right, $1,900 on the car, and the laptop was worth how much?
$383.
All right. And what do you mean she took the car? What does that mean?
So we had agreed that because she was going back and forth to work, and I know my cousin, she's very easily, like, she can get distracted, and she can get she can just really just like be the type of person that'll be like give up on
Become
anything.
irresponsible or give up.
Discouraged. She could get discouraged real fast. And so I told her, like, hey, she was complaining about getting back and forth to school and work and everything. So I had another car, and I was like, hey, you can buy this car from me. I know you got your income tax and stuff coming in, and a school check coming in. I'm like, you can purchase this car from me, because I don't need two cars.
All right. You went with the income tax game, then what?
Okay. So she agreed because she needed a car.
Absolutely.
She needed to get back and forth to work and school. So she was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get my income tax. I'm gonna give you $500 down or whatever, and then we agreed that she would pay me.
Don't tell me when she got her income tax, the state took it because she owed some money.
No.
The feds took it because she owed some money.
No.
She just plain flat out just said, I'm not paying you.
No, she ended up giving me $500 down on the car.
Okay.
That's a first.
She gave me $500.
For income tax to use it like you said you would, that's right.
Yeah, she gave me $500 down on the car, and then we agreed that she would pay $250 until it was paid off, and we also agreed that once she paid the car off, I would switch the title over in her name.
Okay, so
But
what
I told
did
her-
happen?
But I told her she can drive it, until she, paid it off.
So
and
why are you
everything.
suing it for? What happened?
Okay, so after the $500, she never paid me nothing else for the car.
All right.
So when she moved out in June, she took, like I said, a lot of my personal items. She took my laptop, and she took the car.
Good enough. Ma'am?
I admit that I took the laptop and
Why?
I took the laptop because I was showing her if she wanted to call me dirty and nasty, I was gonna act dirty and nasty and show her how dirty and nasty I can be. So that's why I took the laptop.
So she was telling the truth all the time.
No, she constantly calling me names.
And you did what a dirty, nasty person would do. Well, I'm sure she meant dirty, nasty attitude and the way you acted around the house. I'm sure she didn't mean your appearance or your grooming. You seemed pretty well groomed, so I'm sure she wasn't talking about that, and I'm not either. I know what she was talking about, or what she was talking about. Your attitude. You got an attitude problem, I can tell. Doesn't she?
Yes,
I
a
can
real
tell.
bad temper.
So you took the laptop because she called you dirty and nasty, and you was showing her how dirty and nasty you could be.
Defendant Brianna Hill is being sued by her cousin, who claims once Brianna started living as a woman, she became a prostitute.
What about the car and the rent?
Well, the car, we did make an agreement that I would pay her $250 a month until it was paid off. But I got laid off, so I was messed up financially, and by her being my cousin, I thought she would understand.
Did you
that.
appeal to her on that? Did you say, hey, you know I'm laid off, you know I got a
She
little
knew I
issue.
got laid off, so it was
You
like,
got to ask a person. You can't assume somebody, because you laid off, assume somebody's going to waive your debt. You got to come to them. If you're too proud to come and say it, then yeah, pay the money. Let's go to court. You're supposed to go to her. You all talk about how close you are. She may have said, okay, well, just give me $50 instead of what we agreed to, because I understand your situation. I appreciate you coming to me like that, because you could have just been like other folks, not paid me at all. And you're a good cousin. You're not as dirty and nasty as I thought you were. Ain't that what you told her?
Yes.
See? So what about the rent?
the rent is basically like the same thing.
Same
I got
thing,
laid
you couldn't
off.
afford to pay.
I couldn't
You're back
afford to-
working?
Yeah, I'm back working.
Well, you can pay now. Right?
Yeah.
You intend to? You intend to?
Yes, I guess we could work
Good.
that
See,
now.
you all are still good cousins. Judgment for the plaintiff, $3,333. She says that the only defense in this case was she lost her employment. Now she's regained it. The other part is you called her dirty and nasty, so she shows you exactly how much. I bet you'll stop calling her name now. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
I guess we can work it out, you know. I do love my cousin after all, so.
And I love her too, so.
She just made bad decisions.